I started cheating on my wife because she refused to be intimate with me. When she found out, she put me on a kind of house arrest for 2 years, controlling where I went, who I saw, and every part of my life. Then I uncovered the truth that turned everything upside down. She had been cheating long before I ever did. Hello, Reddit. I plus here. I started an affair because my wife stopped touching me. Then I discovered she'd been cheating for years before I ever crossed the line. I know I'm not the hero of this story. Before anyone says it, yes, I cheated. I own that. I spent years hating myself for it. What I'm about to tell you isn't an excuse. It's just the truth. I'm 38 now. This all started almost 4 years ago. My ex-wife Nicole and I met when we were teenagers. We started dating at 16, broke up briefly after graduation, then found our way back to each other a year later. By 22, we were married. At 23, we had our first child, a son. 2 years later, we welcomed our daughter. I adored my family. Back then, life felt simple. I worked in network security, and after our son was born, something switched inside me. I stopped wasting time, chased promotions, took certifications, and eventually landed a job that required frequent travel. Financially, we were thriving. Emotionally, we seemed solid. Physically, that part of our marriage slowly died. Before kids, intimacy was regular and exciting. After our daughter was born, it became rare. Then it became almost non-existent. Weeks turned into months. Every conversation about it ended the same way. She was tired, stressed, not in the mood. Eventually, I stopped asking because rejection hurt more than silence. During one of my work trips, I became friends with a woman named Rachel, who worked at a branch office. She was married, had children, and according to her, was stuck in the same miserable situation. At first, we just complained, then we flirted. Then we crossed lines we shouldn't have. The affair lasted about 18 months. It wasn't some grand romance, no promises, no plans to leave our spouses, no secret fantasies about running away together. Just two selfish people filling a void. Eventually, we ended it ourselves. We agreed it wasn't solving anything. I went home determined to become a better husband. And for the next 3 years, I stayed completely faithful. I focused entirely on my marriage. I planned date nights, weekend trips, counseling, anything I could think of. Nothing changed. The bedroom stayed cold. But I convinced myself that love was enough. Then everything exploded. One night, Nicole found an old video I'd forgotten existed, evidence of my affair. There was no denying it, so I confessed. Everything. Every terrible detail. I expected screaming, divorce papers, maybe both. Instead, she gave me another chance. Or at least that's what I thought. She created rules, lots of them. No gaming, no nights out, no hanging out with friends, no private social media, no unexplained expenses. Full access to my phone, email, and accounts. I accepted every condition, without argument, because I believed I'd earned the punishment. Weeks became months, months became years. For 2 full years, I lived like a man on parole. And no matter what I did, it was never enough. She still treated me like a criminal, still questioned everything, still acted like trust was impossible. Then something happened. An old classmate reached out online and openly offered to start a casual relationship. I turned her down immediately, but the interaction planted a question in my head. Why was I still serving a life sentence for mistakes I'd spent years trying to correct? That thought wouldn't leave me alone. A few days later, I sat Nicole down. For the first time in years, I pushed back. I told her I loved her, but I wasn't her prisoner. If our marriage was going to survive, things had to change. To my surprise, she agreed. She seemed understanding, almost relieved. For the first time in forever, I felt hopeful. Then one random comment I read online ruined everything. Someone wrote, "Sometimes the partner demanding total control is hiding secrets of their own." The idea sounded ridiculous. Nicole would never cheat, right? Still, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Against my better judgment, I installed monitoring software on our shared laptop. I hated myself for doing it. 2 days later, I went to remove it. Before uninstalling it, curiosity got the better of me. I checked the logs. At first, everything looked normal. Shopping websites, videos, social media. Then I noticed a second email account I'd never seen before. A secret account. My stomach dropped. I logged in. The inbox was empty, so were most folders. Then I found one labeled Archives. Inside were hundreds of emails, thousands maybe. Every single one between Nicole and a man named Aaron. I still remember the feeling. The room spinning. My heartbeat pounding in my ears. I clicked one message, then another, then another. There was no misunderstanding, no innocent explanation. This wasn't flirting. This was a full-blown affair, years of messages, photos, plans, hotel reservations, declarations of affection. The oldest messages dated back almost 6 years, more than a year before I ever cheated. I felt physically sick. Then I noticed something else, the timeline. The affair started before our youngest child was conceived. I stopped breathing. Suddenly, all I could think was, what if my kids aren't mine? I copied everything, every email, every attachment. Then I drove away and sat in a parking lot crying like a child. I stayed there for nearly 3 hours. That night she told me she was going to a movie with her best friend. Around midnight, I checked the account again. There was a fresh message. She'd arranged to meet Aaron afterward. I called her. No answer. Again. No answer. Again. Nothing. At 1:17 a.m., she walked through the front door. I was waiting. She smiled. Asked if everything was okay. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "How's Aaron?" The color disappeared from her face instantly. I've never seen someone unravel so quickly. She knew. I knew. The lies were over. The next several hours were a blur of confessions, tears, excuses, apologies. She admitted everything. The affair had lasted almost 7 years, on and off. Mostly on. She claimed she loved me. Claimed she never intended to leave. Claimed the affair was exciting and made her feel desired. Then she admitted something even worse. When she discovered my affair years earlier, she'd chosen not to reveal her own. Instead, she'd used my guilt to control me. The lockdown, the restrictions, the surveillance, all of it. Not because she wanted healing, because she didn't want me asking questions. She was terrified I'd leave if I learned the truth. At dawn, I asked the question I'd been dreading. Are the kids mine? She said yes, but she couldn't prove it. That answer shattered whatever remained of my trust. The following week, I ordered DNA tests. Longest wait of my life. When the results arrived, I sat alone in my car before opening them. Both children were mine. I cried harder than I had the day I discovered the affair. Not because of Nicole, because my kids were still my kids. That changed everything. For the first time, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't trapped anymore. I knew I'd always be their father. Whether the marriage survived or not, we tried therapy, separation, transparency, second chances. But one realization kept haunting me. I could eventually forgive cheating. People make terrible mistakes. I know that better than most. What I couldn't forgive was the manipulation. For years, I sacrificed friendships, hobbies, freedom, and pieces of myself trying to earn forgiveness from someone who was secretly betraying me the entire time. That wasn't love. That was control. 6 months later, I filed for divorce. Today, we're finalizing a 50-50 custody agreement. I have my own apartment. I've reconnected with old friends, started rebuilding my life. Some days still hurt. Some days I feel angry. Some days I feel relieved. But every morning, I wake up knowing the truth. And strangely enough, that's brought more peace than all the lies ever did. If there's one lesson I learned from all of this, it's simple. A marriage can't survive when both people are hiding secrets. And guilt is a terrible foundation for love. The moment I stopped living as a prisoner was the moment I finally started healing.